Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investors Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios, powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. The Larry Steinhouse Show.
All right, welcome to the Larry Steinhouse Show. For all of you people who need to wake up.
What is that?
That's me waking up the audience. They're all asleep right now.
You should do at least like a real
Don't
alarm
you know
clock.
they're all asleep right
Yeah,
now?
or I can do like in a commercial, and people will be more in the mood.
Maybe I should do it this way. Good afternoon.
No, don't do
and
that.
welcome to the Larry Steinhouse Show. Should I do it that way, maybe?
Do you want to do the intro so people know who we're listening to?
I know, but it's just like I can't get the show out of my head.
If you are dealing with passport for minor, you can call
I
us
just
at
thought everybody needs to
855.
wake up. That's all. You know, they need to wake up.
At some point, you should call in or call her and say, your show sucks.
You can't call it. It's not a live
No,
show.
I
you
understand, but
can do
have-
that.
There's
It's
probably
like,
a way to reach her.
Come on, really? It's like
Probably a way to reach her.
It can't possibly be. I mean, like, my contract says my show has to be professional, and I guess her contract doesn't say her show has to be professional.
Well, we're not
By the way, we're not allowed to
necessarily-
mention the show because my contract says I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, because nobody
disparage
knows.
other shows.
Nobody knows what we're talking about right
exactly.
now.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
So let's get back to my intro. Good afternoon and welcome to the Larry Steinhouse Show. It's so funny.
And we're back and we're live.
Right,
And
exactly.
we are whatever we are.
I mean, come on. Wait, are they awake yet? Do I need to wake them up again?
No, not alarm.
No, not the alarm. Something else? Maybe a bark. All right.
Do
Anyway,
it like a horn or something.
I was looking for like an alarm, like an alarm clock alarm.
You know the
I just didn't
old-fashioned
have.
ones
I know
with the
I
bells
didn't.
and stuff?
I
Yeah.
didn't have the sound effect, and so what can I do? Anyway,
As we get off topic again.
for you guys who are waking up. Shh. Oh, Larry Steinhouse is on. Now I can listen. Okay, right. Anyway, we're broadcasting live from Investor Schooling headquarters in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I am Larry Steinhouse, and I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. And we're here to make financial education fun and accessible to everyone. What are you guys... What's the problem? My belly button
She
showing?
always
My
give.
belly button
She
showing?
always give me comments
Oh my
about
God.
my
Oh my
exposed
God.
belly.
I got so excited about the last show that my belly button was showing. So
Good.
So Omri is pointing to my belly button.
I didn't.
to show it to Debbie. And then Debbie's like pointing, and they're both of them pointing, and I'm trying to read this. And, and I'm like, I'm thinking that, there's a cue that they're supposed to be giving me, and then all of a sudden I realize, oh, it's my belly button showing.
Debbie like to comment for every guy that show his skin. And
My
I don't know.
ting?
Skin.
I didn't show my ting,
Don't show your ting. Show your skin.
my skin.
Your
All right,
ting
let's get
also
this
have a
T-rated.
skin, but I'm talking about skin. She every time she do that. And I said that one day I will do a piercing in my belly button.
I used to have one.
Just for you. You didn't used
You
to
gonna
have
pierce
one.
your belly button just for her?
Just for her. So
Alright,
I
wait.
will be able to show it.
Can we actually get back to what we just show does?
What are we doing? Where am I?
I mean, you do realize, like, on this show we discuss several ways of making money.
Yes, we do.
I guess
It's
you
true.
can make money piercing belly buttons, but
You
okay.
can, absolutely.
Yeah, but
Anyway, we concentrate on real estate investing, stock options trading, belly buttons, the stock market, and how to maximize your retirement funds. And you can call us anytime during the show at
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
Would you guys knock it off?
That's people know the number? How many times they said it?
Do you guys say it 2 more times?
Okay. 855-939-1137. I get paid by the number when I'm saying 855-939-1137.
All right. You could call us with questions about anything that has to do with finances. You could call us anything about I don't know, whatever. What can they call about, Omri?
Are you dealing with potential tenant during the show?
No, I was actually muting her so I could see Glenn's. All right. So we're also live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you're on Facebook Live,
Yes.
if you're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, blah,
And
blah, blah.
LinkedIn.
Please say hi so we know you're watching. We've got a couple of people out there watching. We got Patty watching. We got Johnny watching. A couple other people watching as well. All right. Also, I'm here, of course, with my awesome co-host, Dr. Deb Anderson, and Omri Morad, also known as The Immigrant. We also have our sweet producer today.
Sweet.
We're happy you're back, Glenn.
We're happy.
We missed
We're
you.
always happy to have Glenn here because Glenn is our just sweet producer.
He's our
Although
favorite.
Kirk's
He's our
okay,
favorite.
but the sweet producer is Glenn.
It's not Kirk. Who was with us last week? It wasn't Kirk.
It wasn't Kirk.
No.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know who it was either. Okay, anyway, the Larry Steinhouse Show is brought to you by Investor Schooling. At Investor Schooling, we teach you things about money I bet you never knew. We focus on practical learning, and we equip you with real-life skills in real estate investing, stock options, tax-saving tips, and the secrets of financial freedom. And, of course, our headquarters are right here in Bucks County, but our online courses teach eager investors all over the country. RSVP for a free class at
Investorschooling.com. What is eager?
What did I want?
What is eager? Eager means like
Eager?
hunger for knowledge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly. That's the
Hunger
perfect
for
description.
knowledge.
Yeah, perfect
Okay.
description, yeah.
Got you.
Okay, so now that we're back on the air,
Yes.
and we got Jim saying hi too. We got a couple people online saying hi. Are we on YouTube? I don't see anybody from YouTube saying hi. Anybody on YouTube say hi? Because I don't want to think that we messed up again.
We didn't. I hope not.
Yeah, that would be stinky.
Larry, what's going on with the stock market right now? It
So
was extremely well, and now it seems like it's coming down again.
yeah, it's gonna be kind of like nothing exciting is happening. Really, what the story is. And the reason nothing exciting is happening is there's nothing exciting news, right? So we had the Trump bump. We had Trump raise the stock market, which was a big bump.
It was when he was elected, not when he was.
When he was elected, we got the Trump bump. So everybody got anticipation. That's typically what happens is when something happens, you get the anticipation of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So the anticipation of what's going to happen is that Trump's going to make the stock market rally, which he probably will over the next 4 years. There's probably no doubt about it. Oh, look, my belly button showed again.
What do you mean rally? Rally.
Go up. Yeah, go up.
Okay.
Right.
Rally can also be, I don't know, like.
Well, you can have your normal ups and downs. So one of the things that happens though, like during the Trump bump. Oh, good, Patty. Thank you for saying hi. Now I know you're on YouTube. Great. Okay, so one of the things that happens when you have like something like a Trump bump,
Yeah.
is it confuses the charts. So I do a lot of chart reading. You know that every Thursday we do a section called the Stock Option Sultan.
It's not you, but okay.
What?
It's not.
It's the
Stop.
Stock Option Sultan, right?
Exactly.
And so we do that every Thursday, and I talk about. Wait, hold on. Is this the Stock Option Sultan? Here we go.
Can you
This is what the
stop?
Stock Option Sultan
Can you
is all about.
stop?
No, I'm very distracted.
No, I'm just saying. You are not doing anything. The stock option
Stock Option
Sultan
Sultan, right.
do it. So stop saying.
Right. So the Stock Option Sultan comes on. I know what you're trying to do.
I know.
Right.
I know it's just not funny. I think
I
what
know.
you're trying
It's just
to do.
like
it's just
I'm
not
just
funny.
let it go. So the Stock Option Sultan comes on and talks about charts, reading charts, and we were talking about the other day. We were talking about the Trump bump, and it affects the charts, so people are confused. You asked me a question. You're not even paying attention to the answer.
No, she annoyed me. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm here for.
Did you understand the answer?
Pretty much.
No, you didn't, because I didn't explain it yet.
No, I did. I heard, and I'm a fast catcher, and I get it.
fast
You need
catcher?
you need to ignore this huge bump that we saw on November
right.
and look what's before.
Right. Look what's before and after, exactly. And then you
But
got to.
now that we are back to where we were before November,
Mm-hmm.
it still seems that things go a bit down,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I'm asking.
So typically, what happens in February, the stock market pops. So wait till February, the stock market will pop. It usually does.
Mm-hmm.
And then come March, right around the middle of March, we have the end of the pop.
Okay.
And then we'll start to see like normal stuff, normal ups and downs.
Okay.
So look for February. Usually you see a big bounce in February. It'll be fun. And then after that, it is what it is.
Okay.
You got to be. That's why stock options are fun, because if you can predict the charts, you make a lot of money in stock options.
Okay.
So you guys know my latest challenge, right? My latest challenge is kind of cool. The latest challenge that I have is I actually put $50,000 into an account, and I'm selling the calls every first of the Monday of the month. I'm
Yes.
selling the calls, and I make them expire every Friday, the last Friday of the month. So I keep the calls for 1 month, and whatever that number is that I sell them for, I take it out as income. And I'm curious to see how long I can keep $50,000 to create income. Now, the first month I did it was January, and I got $4,600. So imagine putting $50,000 into an account and getting $4,600 income in 1 month.
So I kind of followed you a little bit. So I'm still waiting for that other bit to clear.
Right,
So I
you're ready to clear, sure.
Yeah, so I put 50,000 in an account, and I bought 2,500 shares of.
I think you bought Rivian, right?
No, I'm waiting to buy Rivian.
Or Ford.
I bought Ford, 2,500 of
Okay,
Ford.
good, because Rivian's going down, which is great, because that means you could buy it cheaper.
Okay, so I'm still waiting for the rest of it to clear. So I took it out of my account, and I'm waiting for Charles Schwab to clear it. So they cleared 50,000 of it, but the margin's not there yet. So that's why I couldn't buy the rest of the Rivian.
Right.
So I bought 2,500 shares of Ford, and when I sold the covered call, I got like 1,087 right off the bat. Yeah, so that was kind of nice.
You put in it was 10,000 in the account, right?
No, 50,000.
Oh, 50,000. Okay, that's
50,000
right. Right, because your money hasn't cleared yet. You're only able to do. But yeah, so you made $1,000 doing nothing. So this is wild. This is actually, if I could prove that you could make between $2,000 and $4,000 a month, every month on 50 grand, and keep the 50 or somewhat of the 50 grand, most of the 50 grand, then this is a pretty good way to make an income. I mean, so that's what I'm trying to do. Because what I do is when I teach something, for you guys who don't know, when we go to investor schooling and I teach something, in order for me to teach it, I have to test the theories first. So right now I'm live testing, so the class is actually watching me live test this theory, and if it works, it's fantastic because, I put in 50,000. Imagine I put in $500,000. That'd be incredible numbers.
We are almost a year in, right?
No, it's just two different challenges. You're talking about the old challenge?
Yeah.
So the old challenge was a 6-month challenge, and what I did was I took $30,000 and I traded 2 stock options, sold 2 covered calls every Monday. It's a little more complicated to explain this one, but I turned it into $42,000 in 6 months by spending 5 minutes every Monday.
And keep buying.
And kept buying
the stock.
Buying the stock and selling the covered calls.
Yes.
So I turned $30,000 into $42,000 in 6 months. I've since changed the challenge to something else. And now the new challenge is that I'm selling the covered calls on 3 stocks, Rivian, AT&T, and Ford. I'm selling the covered calls, and whatever that number is, I'm going to take it out as income. So I'm going to spend it. I'm going to use it like I would pay my normal bills.
So you are not rebuying the stock?
No. I'll buy the stock if the stock gets taken away.
Exactly.
Right?
You are?
I have to rebuy the stock, right?
Yeah.
So how do you take your profit?
No,
you only take the profit. I got you.
I only take the profit, exactly.
I got you now.
So
okay.
I put in $50,000. I'm getting a check for $4,600. Actually, $4,621 and a couple of cents, whatever it was, which I think is high. But I'm curious to see what next month is going to be, because if next month is in the same range, that's phenomenal. But I actually believe it'll be somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000. I think I got an anomaly on the $4,600. But so what? It's 50 grand. Imagine we bought a house for $50,000. What would we rent that house for?
$600-700.
Maybe
Yeah,
let's say $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
After expenses, how much will we make?
10 grand a year.
No, I think you missed my point. After expenses, like maybe let's forget this. No, let's assume there's no expenses. Let's assume that the $1,000 is pure profit on the $50,000 a month, right? You didn't have to pay insurance. You didn't have to pay water. You didn't have to pay anything.
It's a dream house,
right? It's $1,000 on $50,000. That would be an incredible return.
Yeah.
For a rental.
Yeah.
But I just got $4,621 or whatever, $4,621 on $50,000 in 1 month. That's an incredible return. So I'm going to see if I can keep it up. And honestly, you guys, if you come to class, you'll actually see me show this. I'll show it every once in a while in class, and I'll show you where I stand on next. So the month ends this Friday. The month ends. And then next Monday, I'm going to buy them back, and I'm going to sell them again, and we'll see what happens. And we'll see how much money I make then. So on that Monday or that Thursday of class, I'm going to show you how much money I made again. So each month I make this money. And it's actually, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get the same results, because I only got the 1,000, but it'd be great if I got the 4,600. But I'm waiting for that other to clear for the margin.
Yeah, just wait for it to clear, and we'll see what you can do too.
Yeah.
Because this could really be a fascinating way. And all you do, by the way, now, remember last time it was 5 minutes a week. Now it's 5 minutes a month.
Yeah.
So I spend 5 minutes a month on making these plays, and that's it.
What happens unless somebody actually buys all your stock before?
It doesn't matter.
So what do?
I still have the money.
Yeah, I know.
Any money, I buy them back.
Okay, in the next month.
You make your money when you do the covered call.
So what's happening
I
is you
get
guys. So what the audience might be a little confused if you don't know what
because
covered
they
calls
don't know
are.
what covered calls
And that's
are.
okay because you come into investor schooling. Of course, you're going to learn what covered calls are, and you're going to learn how to do this. Now, look, these are my results. I don't know if these are going to be the same results for you. I don't know. I'm not promising any results. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and I'm giving you the numbers that I'm getting by doing this. And if it works, it's going to be a phenomenal thing. Right, so Lauren's asking me. Lauren's one of our students, and she's asking me how long can you follow. As a student, you can follow forever. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to run this out to see how long the 50,000 will last. Now, the only way the 50,000 is going to go, it could actually never go to zero. But if it goes really, really bad, like the 50,000 maybe turn into 25, is if these three stocks do really bad.
Yeah.
So the stocks have to do bad, not the stock options. The stocks have to do bad. But the interesting part is, even if it goes down to 25,000, I'm still selling the covered calls on those three stocks, and I'm still getting an income. And the income can still be the same, even though it's 25,000, not 50,000 anymore. But I don't know. I don't want to go there yet because that's an unlikely scenario that it goes from 50 to 25. A more likely scenario is that it goes from 50 to 40. And then bounces back up, and then bounces back down, and bounces back up, and bounces back down. And I keep pulling out $2,000 to $5,000 a month.
But because it's the covered call and you basically take your profit out, the value of your test, the value of your, I don't know how to call it, portfolio, let's call it, under this test is actually the value of the stock. Unless
it's not the value of the stock; it's the value of the sale of the covered call.
And the sale, but you
That's all
own
it
the
is.
stock.
Right, I own the stock, but the money I'm pulling out is only equal to the price that I sell the calls for.
So the biggest risk for you to go from 50 to 40 is if the stock go down, because
Yes, the only risk is
the
stock goes down,
options
right.
stay
That's
the
why
same.
I have AT&T, Ford, and Rivian, right?
Yeah.
Because AT&T probably isn't going to go down much lower than it really is. Ford will probably bounce between 10 and 11, and Rivian bounces a lot. Rivian bounces between 12 and 16.
Yeah.
So the greatest thing that can happen to me, which is really great, is on Friday. So I have a 14 strike price, which means I sell the stock at 14 on Friday for Rivian. If on Friday the stock closes below 14, let's say it closes at $13.99, I get to keep the stock. I get to keep the money. I get to keep the money no matter what, but I get to keep the stock.
Mm-hmm.
If on Monday the stock opens up at 16,
You lose the stock.
no, I keep the stock and I sell a 17 covered strike price, and I make a lot of money that probably will never be taken away. That's
If the I'm sorry, maybe I'm confused. If
You
the
are,
price,
because it's hard to describe it. It's hard to describe it in words.
no, I get
Right.
it, but I'm saying if the morning comes and it's 16, the people that bought the option from you would like to get the stock, no?
Yeah, sometimes they don't, but only if they. But if they hit
Why
the
won't they
strike-
do it if it's 16?
No. On Friday the option expires.
Oh, I
So
got
if
you
it's
now.
Below 14.
I got you.
Why would they want to pay $14 for a stock that they could buy for $13.98?
I got you.
Right. That's what I said. It closes on Friday
Yeah.
below 14, and on Monday it opens up at 16.
Mm-hmm.
That would be that's heaven for me. But that probably will happen twice over the next year.
Okay.
And that's probably all that'll happen. But I don't care. As long as I keep selling the covered calls and keep making the money I'm making, I don't care. So it's all good. All right. So that was kind of an interesting. I mean, if you guys want to call me about this, you can call at
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
and this Thursday we are going to be talking about
Stock options.
stock options. We're gonna,
Oh, okay.
So this Thursday will be an absolute stock options conversation.
Okay.
So if you want to go to class and take the class on it, go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com and sign up for this Thursday night's class, and I'll be talking about stock options. Now, we talk about different things all the time. We talk about stock options the other day. We talked about how to get all the money you need for any deal ever. It was kind of fun. We talked about lending private money and how to borrow and lend private money. By the way, for you guys who are still waking up from the last show and are still still trying to maybe turning back and going, hoping that show's still not on. I'm Larry Steinhouse. This is the Larry Steinhouse Show. I'm here with Dr. Deb, and I'm here with Omri, and we talk about money, we talk about finances, and we have a lot of fun. This is a comedy show. with finances injected
sense.
now and then, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes. So for you guys who are still, oh my God. I was almost done with thinking about that, and now
Stop!
I know. So I'm excited about.
It's so bad. It's
I'm
so
excited-
bad. It's so bad.
Stop.
It was like this.
Stop! I'm excited to kind of follow you with the whole covered call thing because, like I said, I put $50,000 in the account and I made $1,000. So I said something to my husband about it. He says, "Hey, I'm doing this," and he's like, "Is this legal?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's totally legal."
Is it legal? That's
Yeah,
great,
that's what he
right?
said.
Oh,
He's like-
I got to tell you a funny story about that. Oh my God, I can't believe you just said it. You reminded me of a funny story. So, my mother is 84 years old,
Okay.
right? But she got full wits about her, and she's in pretty good shape. She goes for a walk every day. But it's so funny because my mother has no idea what I do,
Okay.
right? She's like, I tell this story all the time that she has my book, Money Hacks, Money Hacks, which is a great book. It's on her coffee table, right? My mother's house is like a museum.
Okay.
It's spotless, has all these nice things everywhere, and
Is everything in plastic?
right. No, not in plastic. No, just like really nice stuff. Like really just nothing in plastic. It's not that kind of mother. It's like this is like when I say a museum, it's like a modern museum, right? Modern art pieces, modern right. And the only thing that sticks out is my book on her coffee table, right? It's the only thing. And she brags to all her friends about how her son wrote a best-selling book, and blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
And every time I say, "Hey, Mom, did you read the book?" and she goes, "No." I always find that funny. But so I was in Florida.
I was gonna say I'm waiting for the legal part. That's supposed to be funny, but somehow.
No.
I
I just want.
All right.
Debbie is aggressive
No, I'm
today.
not aggressive. I'm just
Right.
like.
Debbie
So
is.
I'm in Florida about 2 months ago, and I'm doing a presentation in Florida near her house.
Okay.
So my mother has no idea what I do. She hasn't read my book. She doesn't know anything about me. So I'm in Florida.
I don't think so.
Right, I'm in Florida. We go out to lunch. We go out to dinner, right? And it was some deli, and she looks over at my watch, and she goes, "Is that real?" I'm like, because I wear a Rolex watch with diamonds, right? And she goes, "Is that real?" I go, "Yeah, of course it's real." And I take it off and I hand it to her. She goes, "It looks fake."
Well, it's a Jewish mother, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
it's
Right.
a Jewish
I'm
mom.
like, "Come on, Mom, I'm not going to wear a fake watch. It's just tacky."
Okay.
And she goes, "Are you sure it's real?" I go, "Yeah. Would you like to see the receipt?" It was like, that kind of argument, But it was more like, just ignorance on my mom's part. So at the same time, I invited my mom to come to the presentation that I was giving that night.
She saw you speak before?
So she's never seen me speak. She has no idea what I do.
Okay.
She never read my book. She's got money, and I keep giving her advice on what to do with her money. Where her, my stepdad, was like, "We're getting 3% in our IRA." I'm like, "Oh my God!" I teach people how you get 8, 9, 10% of your IRA, risk free, or almost risk free, right? And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't want blah 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 blah." Right? So then I do the presentation, and I start talking about lending money to real estate investors and how much money you can make lending money to real estate investors. I go into trusts and LLCs, and I go into this entire presentation about all the things that are great stuff that I teach. So they go home because I want to stay behind to talk to some people. They go home, and I come in, and they're waiting for me.
Okay.
They're like, they want to ambush me.
Okay.
And the
They're
first
waiting up
thing-
to talk to you.
And the first thing my mother does, she goes, "You're really smart."
That's great.
She goes, "I can't believe you know all that stuff." And she goes, all this time, I thought you were a con artist." I'm like, "Really?"
You are what?
My mother thinks
Thought
I'm a
you were a
con
con
artist.
artist.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how
what that
insulting. But
No.
she was like,
Con artist is somebody who rips people off.
right. She was so excited to see that I wasn't a con artist, and she was so excited to see that I was smart.
So you are a con artist and she will still brag with the book in
Right,
front
exactly.
of her
She
friends.
thinks I'm a con artist, so that's probably why she never read the book, right? And the very next day, my stepdad sits down next to me and goes, "Listen, tell me all about trusts. Maybe I should put my money in a trust." I'm like, "Oh, finally." So we had a conversation, and we talked about some things he could do and some things he shouldn't do. I mean, the problem is the age at this point. They've gotten to the point where they're at those ages where almost no matter what they do at this point doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I told him he was well off. He's fine, not to worry about it. And besides, I get all the money when they die anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't get it. Me and my brothers get it. But I just found it hysterical that my mother thought I was a con artist. And now she's like so impressed by me. Now she can actually talk to people and say, "Oh yeah, my son actually makes money legally."
I
like,
really want-
seriously.
Yeah, I really want to be there the next time the friends come. And I want to hear her say to the friends, no, so believe it or not, everything you do is legal.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
I want to be there.
Exactly, right? So, so I just that just reminded me of that, and I just thought it was hysterical that she did that to me. But anyway, I am not a con artist. I am
No,
actually,
not.
you come see me, and I'm going to show you how to make more money than you've ever made ever on your money. Legally, ethically, and morally. By the way, that's the only way we operate is legally, ethically, and morally. In fact,
Always.
we tell our students that if you're not going to be legal, if you're not going to do things legally, ethically, and morally, get out. I will throw somebody out of my school if they're not operating legally, morally, or ethically.
It happened before.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you did do that.
Yeah,
like, during
It
a
happened
mastermind or
before.
It only happened with one person so far.
something. I think
Yeah.
I was downstairs, but I heard about it. Like during a mastermind, somebody said something about not paying their lender back, and you're like, get out. From what I heard, something like that.
Yep. It's like you can't, not same thing. Like if you take over somebody's mortgage subject to, and you don't pay their mortgage, I have a problem with that too. So there's a lot of unscrupulous people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are a lot of people who who have bigger organizations, if you want to call it, than mine, and they do things legally.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do it morally and ethically, and I have a major problem with that. As a matter of fact, I blasted a couple of people who are doing it and actually flat out said it in their presentations. I don't care about the seller. I don't care about them. All I care about is making money. Well, you know what? If you could sleep at night doing that, shame on you.
What's the point of doing that?
I don't know.
It's
'Cause
like,
they want to make money.
no, I get it, but it's a very short-term idea.
I agree.
Because if you're not paying on the seller's behalf,
Well, that's something else. But I'm talking. I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
You're right. If you're not, they're going to take the property away.
Yeah.
But how about you do this, right? So you take somebody's property over subject to, you make their payments, and for 3 years you don't make the payment, you collect rent. You get free rent for 3 years from a person who you're not making payments on a loan, and before they foreclose, it's 3 years.
okay,
So you
gotcha.
get 3 years of free money. I actually took over someone who did that to somebody. I went back to the seller. I took the property back from the other guy, and I own it now. And it's actually the one in Drexel Hill.
Okay.
So that was a real problem. I had such a problem with that, and I was able to rescue. I mean, I rescued the tenant because the tenant was going to be thrown out,
Yeah.
and I rescued the seller, the original seller of the property.
So it reached the point of foreclosure.
It was a mess. Yeah, it was a mess.
Okay.
And everybody was unhappy, and I made everybody happy, and and I will make money on it.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I solve people's problems, and that's what you have to do in this business. So I'm Larry Steinhouse. This is the Larry Steinhouse Show. This is Investor Schooling. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Deb Anderson, and Omri Morad. And I don't know, Glenn, maybe we should go to a commercial after all that excitement, the first half hour. This is Larry Steinhouse with
You are clear.
the best time to buy investment properties is? It's
Hey, you
now.
wanna hear
It's
something funny, Glenn?
always now. You just need to.
Sure.
Go
So
to
before the show started,
investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary
so our
class
mics
this
are on
Thursday
only
night
on
and learn
Facebook.
how to buy
So everybody on
investment
Facebook can
properties
listen to the
and
story.
make money
Or actually
every
on-
time.
on it.
That's right.
So
That's
Susan,
what we teach. We
for you
teach
guys
how
who
to
are
buy
listening,
investment properties
Susan
and
is my
make money every
salesperson
time.
for
Go to investorschooling.com
WPHT.
and RSVP.
Okay.
Yes.
So I
Class this
texted
Thursday night
Susan
at 7
before the
o'clock.
show,
That's
and I said,
investorschooling.com.
this show leading into our show is so bad that I'm afraid I'm losing my audience. Right? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, listen to the show. So she starts listening to the show 10 minutes before. And she says to me she's listening. And then she says she's going to listen to my show. So obviously, remember the beginning of the show where I was doing mocking the other show?
Yeah.
Right.
So she texts me and she goes, I love your intro.
So she agrees.
She agreed.
Yeah, so she agrees, exactly.
This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest
So
in
for
real
you guys
estate,
who
the
have
stock
no
market,
idea what I'm talking
precious
about
metals,
listening
and
on
learn
the other
from an
stations,
expert. At
there's a
Investor
show
Schooling,
before this
we
show called
teach these
Passport
things and
Mommy.
more. We only provide education,
listen,
and we will teach you how
if
to
you really
leverage
want
real
to
estate,
be
how
deaf,
to leverage the stock market,
have
and how to leverage precious
chopsticks
metals
next to
and
you
make
while you
more
listen
money
to
than
the
you've
show.
ever made before.
Within
Go to
3 minutes of listening to the show, you will take the
investorschooling.com
chopsticks and
and
poke
take
your
the
eardrums
We'll see you
out.
there. Investorschooling.com.
That's how bad this
That's
show is.
investorschooling.com.
Why she call it Passport Mommy?
Because she's
This is Larry
stupid.
Steinhouse with Investor
I don't
Schooling.
know.
So Passport Mommy to me
Know me from my radio
is a great
shows,
name
and you
for a woman that travel with her kids.
Yeah, I agree.
How it's related to what you
I
say?
have no idea. But she's so boring. Her voice is annoying, and the whole show is just horrible. It's horrible.
All right.
All right, we are coming back in 30.
All right.
The volume, everybody's pretty much at the same level, but it seemed to be drifting downward a little bit at
Really?
the end, so just be conscious of...
It might be me rolling back and forth on my chair and moving away from my microphone.
yeah, just be careful of
Okay.
your mic placement, et
All
cetera,
right.
et cetera.
Thank
blah,
you.
Blah, blah.
Thank you.
Learn how to buy investment properties.
Coming back in 15. Stand by.
That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
You're back.
All right.
I love this
I
music.
know this is great. This could wake people up too. You know.
That's
all
the
right. So
right
if you're all
way.
awake by now, hopefully you're awake and listening to the station again. Oh my goodness. Anyway, welcome back to the Larry Steinhouse Show. I'm here with Dr. Deb and Omri Morad, and we were talking about the stock market. We were talking about some really cool things that I'm doing, making money.
Real
and no one
estate,
has called.
yeah. Not
no
yet.
one's calling.
They don't know the number.
Give them the number.
The number is 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. Wake up! Call!
Really?
855
All the people who normally would
939
call are still sleeping.
1137. It's also Saturday at 1 o'clock.
I mean, it's bad enough that on Saturday at 1 o'clock, the average audience, is sleeping anyway.
Yes, I want to
Right?
be
Now we
sleeping
got the
now.
people going, hey, I really want to keep the radio on to listen to the Larry Steinhouse show.
I
but
want
we
that
got-
guy to call back. Remember when we were on the show? It was 2 weeks ago. It was you and me doing the show.
Yes.
And there was a guy who called in. He's like, "What should I do with my money?" And I'm like, you could always, lend it out to a real estate investor." And the guy called back afterwards. He was a broker, and he yelled at me. Do you remember he was?
He
Yelling at me?
didn't yell
Yes,
at
he
you.
did.
Oh
He was
my
like, "You gave
God.
him such terrible
Sometimes
advice
you
and
are.
blah blah blah."
No.
I would like whoever that guy was to call back right
He
now.
was
because
very
I
nice.
was very nice about just letting it go.
No.
But Larry would be like,
He
Larry,
wasn't
doing
yelling.
that, you know what I
He
mean?
basically said, leave it alone.
No, I'm not
Okay?
leaving it alone.
Basically, what the guy said is that we gave a bad
Yeah, he
advice
said we gave
to
bad advice.
someone.
How could you ever do that? How could you? Real estate is so risky. Why would you ever tell anybody at that age? To
So
do
some
that? And the guy
people
was
still
just
believe,
an
even
idiot.
today, that real estate is very risky.
Yeah.
I had discussion with
I'm broke. I'm telling you how to invest. You should invest the way I invest because I'm broke, and you should stay broke like me. That's
No.
most people out there. That's what this guy probably
it's
is.
more than that. I had a discussion with my bank manager actually, and she tried to explain to me why, according to Bank of America, to the bank policy, real estate is very risky, and they would like not to lend against real estate.
Who, the bank?
The bank,
Let me tell you something.
which for
the
a
person
bank,
you spoke to
for a bank,
is a $60,000 a year clerk.
listen, for a bank to say that a real estate against what will you take will you give an auto loan? I'm sorry. Will auto loan will be less risky than a real estate loan?
No.
Why? Because they hold the title? I
Auto
don't
loan
get-
is very risky compared to real estate.
I agree. I don't understand why they think auto loan is less risky.
So there's a book that if anybody's thinking about lending money to a real estate investor,
Yeah.
there's a book called The Banker's Code.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a great book about lending money to real estate investors. It's fantastic. It actually talks about how the banks transfer all the risk to the borrower.
Most of the time.
Right. The borrower, the bank.
We can go there and say that's why they're also buying so much of their health plans.
Yeah, I mean, what?
The banks.
They're
The
buying
banks are the biggest owner of
No, you're
Health-
talking about
Infinite
whole
Bank.
life insurance.
You're talking about
yeah,
whole
life
life
insurance. I'm sorry.
Okay,
They're not-
life
they're
insurance.
not
But
the
that's a
same
different.
thing.
That's a different.
I know.
You have this way of drifting into different topics and
That's me.
confusing not only the audience, which
Yeah.
is very confused,
Yeah,
because they have no idea what you're talking about,
especially after the previous
but
show.
even me.
Yeah,
I get
but
confused.
you understand me.
Yeah, but it takes me a little while to connect the dots, and there's so many pieces of information in there that the audience doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
So try to stay on topic,
I will.
okay?
Okay, can I go to the bathroom?
You need to go to the bathroom during commercials. That's what commercials are for.
Okay, I will go to.
Glenn,
commercial.
can you explain to him how this works?
There's a book I can read about that, maybe.
Yeah, well, in the bathroom you can
What-
read it. Right?
As we move on to the next
Oh my
part of
goodness!
our
It's like
show.
when you lend somebody your phone.
Okay.
And all the things you did with your phone in the bathroom.
Ew, come on.
You need to
Would
clean
you
it
stop
before
it?
sanitize it.
Would you
But
stop it? All right, this discussion is like.
it's
moving-
actually a very interesting discussion because everybody, regardless to what they say, use their phone in the bathroom. Everybody. If you have somebody that tell you they don't do it, they're lying. And yet you're using sometimes other people's phone.
That was the point. See?
When are you
That's-
using other people's phone?
I know when someone calls you and you want me to tell them something, whenever.
So
Or you-
I think it was last week. I actually forgot my phone at home, and I didn't realize I forgot it.
Okay.
And then I didn't know where it was, so I was kind of freaking out a little bit.
Wait! You got look
What,
at the board. Look what Glenn just wrote. You got to read. You can just read it out loud. It's hysterical.
GF in Huntington Valley to save the day by interrupting this thread.
So D's calling to interrupt this thread because he doesn't like where it's going. So what's
And
up,
I was
D?
trying. I was trying. D, are you there?
I'm here, but I never said anything about interrupting anything. That was something.
that
No,
must be.
that's Glenn.
That must have been
Yeah.
Glenn's comment.
That's
'cause it was
our
hysterical.
sweet producer.
So what's up, D?
What I did want to say, though, one of the highlights of the show, great show, by the way, one of the highlights, I think, every week, in addition to the financial education, is hearing Omri learn new English words.
Yeah, right. It is pretty funny
Once
when you.
it was pan about a camera. He thought a pan only had to do with like cookware, and today it's he learned all about what a con artist is, which of course Larry.
No,
is,
there
but,
was another
I thought
thing.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Yo, there was another thing. There was
Eager. You weren't sure about eager.
no, I said hunger for knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We always can tell he's
Larry
confused because
and
he's looking
Deb
around.
And Omri,
Sorry, go ahead. D.
No,
Now
I
you're
just,
interrupting the callers.
No,
No.
I'm looking forward to this week's class Thursday, stock options. That's my focus.
Yep.
Trying to gain as much knowledge as possible. So I just wanted to say looking forward to it. I'm glad you announced that. And for anyone that has any interest, this is the place to be. So glad to hear that and looking forward to it.
So I have a question for you. So if you haven't already figured out, D is actually a student. He's a student of ours. So you were skeptical when you came in, right? A lot of people are. And what?
I was very skeptical.
Yeah. So you've been a student for like 2 months, a month and a half?
Not even like a month, maybe.
Yeah, it's middle of December I joined.
Okay, great. So about a month and a half, right? So tell us what's happened since you become a student, and what you think of what you think of us now.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the benefits of being part of this program is just simply being around success-oriented people, and that alone just motivates you to do more. I've done some real estate investing, not a whole lot, but I have probably done more as far as communicating, putting in offers, working with investors within the last 6 weeks. I'm not kidding, than I have probably in the last 5 years, just simply because I'm around people that are doing it and they're successful, and I want to emulate that success.
It's because you're in the right place.
That's really that's right. So it's a lot of fun, and the education is great. I mean, you can just kind of stumble across things as you read books or watch videos, but when you concentrate your focus in a school like this, it's just like going from a trickle to a fire hose, and that's what I really like about it.
Awesome, man. We so appreciate the kind words, man. And, I know you're going to be successful. I'm already watching you, and I'm watching you be successful, which is really, really cool. All right, man. Anything else you want to say to us?
No, listen, other than just, Godspeed, and looking forward to this Thursday.
Thank you, my friend. We're looking forward to seeing you then. Take care, and I appreciate you calling in. All right. So anybody else wants to call in and talk about anything? You want to talk about the stock market? You want to talk about what to do with your money, what not to do with your money? We could talk about the worst place to put your money, which is annuities. If you want to talk about that, we could talk about that too. So anything else? By the way, I was listening to a show, one of the other financial shows, one of the guys who sells annuities. I don't know the guy personally, so I don't really want to bash the guy. But he was talking this morning about how people have bond funds now, right? And do you know?
We had a student that asked about that. You remember? I think it was Tommy.
Yeah. So
about the bond
funds.
funds.
Do you know what the average bond fund did over the last 5 years?
Tell me.
per year, negative 2%.
Oh, wow.
That's what the average bond fund did over the last 5 years. So basically, you bought bonds because your financial advisor told you to buy bonds.
How can it be so bad?
Wait, because they're safe.
Yeah, it should be safe.
Now, not only did you lose around 2% per year, but your portfolio, which is managed by a manager, the guy you hire, your registered rep, is taking 1.5 to 2% of your entire portfolio to manage your portfolio.
Even if you lose?
Yes, even if you lose.
Really?
So now, if you put $100,000 into a bond fund, and the first year you lost 2%, that would bring you to 98%, right?
Wow, I can't believe it.
Then you got to give the portfolio manager another 2%, which is almost another $2,000, just because he put you in the bond fund. So your $100,000 went to 96,000 to manage your portfolio.
Even if you.
So that could be a substantial loss for somebody. Put $100,000 in and they're down to 8. Terrible.
Okay.
This happened yesterday. Funds I had no idea. Okay. And I've known this student's been a student of mine for, which had almost a half. I looked at the returns and she said, I'm wondering or not. And I said, well, what's the returns that he's been telling you? Oh, we just lost the streaming.
What?
We just lost the streaming. I don't know why. Okay, well, we'll try again. Anyway, and I said, let me see your.
Invest in bot fund. What?
Well, what do you say? The bond. If that's what you're asking.
Okay, I got it.
So it was her bond fund, and I said, let me see your statement from last. Statement from last year to this year. From last year to this year.
Wow.
I mean, the stock market's on fire, and these people have her in bonds. So I immediately told her to cash this out and get and be done with this, because that's a big mistake. It's terrible.
How can she cash it out?
Well, she just calls the broker and says, give me my money, and I'm leaving you.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's an IRA, basically.
Yeah, so, and it's like, well, okay. then the woman on the phone, because I was listening to it, her broker on the phone is saying, you're going to lose a lot of money in your bond funds. And I'm like, well, and I'm just sitting there, I wanted to explode and say, no kidding. I've already lost that money, but, that's all right. I just said, get out of here and put it somewhere else. So she's actually going to probably use that money, and she's probably going to use that money to do it again. So for you guys online, you're going to have to restart the news. I don't know what happened. We lost the signal. So you have to do it again. So my apologies. It happens.
So
things happen.
My daughter came to me this morning. She said something about she saw on Facebook on I guess it was YouTube. I don't know, whatever, about an allodial title. Do you know what that is? An allodial title. I sent you the link because
So isn't that when they transfer the title from from?
Well, I don't know what it is. I've never.
Liens? No. When you buy the note, what's that word?
A launch. A launch. You're thinking a launch. This is an allodial title.
I'm not sure.
I've never heard of it before.
I'm not sure. I have to look it up because I really don't know what it is.
No, an allonge is that's when you're making sure that it's going from person to person.
Right. That's what the
for a note. But
head.
This isn't a note thing. This is a. Well, I mean, I guess it's when you buy anything, according to this guy, a car or a house or
I know,
whatever.
I'll have to take a look.
All right, yeah, I sent it over to you.
But we do have Mike online. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, I've been waiting for you to call me when you go back and forth to Florida in your Cadillac convertible.
My Alante?
Alante!
It's an Alante title. That's what that is, Debbie. No, I'm kidding. Right?
That's right.
Mike,
so
I'm trying to figure out who you are. Are you a student?
No, I'm Mike from South Carolina. I called you and I thanked you for your book. And I was going to read it. And I did read it.
What'd you think?
But I read it in a hospital and while I was recuperating. So I haven't talked to you in a while. And
first of all, how you feeling?
Your book was phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
Phenomenal. And can I just say to anybody out there listening to us, get the book. This is a brand new year, and get the book and start your new year out properly. And at some point, I've got to go up to New Jersey and Philadelphia. I'll be up there. And I will make sure that a Thursday night that I'm going to walk in to the school and shake your hand.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You are amazing. Yeah,
Wow.
you're amazing.
Wow, I feel so
Humbled?
high right now.
Hi.
So we smack
No,
your ass
that's
so
the
that you
last
don't.
That's the last show.
What did you
And I
say?
still say I can still say the phone number more sexy than Omri.
No
Go ahead,
chance.
go ahead.
No chance.
Dr. Deb is the jury, and she said no. Omri's still better than I am because I already did it.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to say it more sexy than
Omri
Omri.
Go
does
ahead
have
and
the
say it.
accent. Omri has that deep voice and the accent, which really kind of.
I know.
it's-
I got a Chicago accent. I got a
Okay.
Chicago accent.
The
And
whole.
so I
it's
gotta
the deep
say it
voice
in-
for me. For me, it's the deep voice to make it sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be like a nice deep voice. And Omri has a deep voice. You know what it is? It reminds me of my dad's voice. He had a very thick accent and a very deep voice. So maybe it's that
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I don't know.
All right.
So your
Anyway,
dad was very sexy.
so
All
give-
right.
No, I didn't
This
say he was
is,
sexy.
getting
I just
deep.
said-
do the
reminds
phone
me
number.
of-
Do the phone number, Mike. Go. Do the phone number.
Omri's too busy not paying attention now.
I am. I'm listening. I don't need to look.
No, he's not. He's playing with. What are you playing?
Come
with?
on, say.
All right. So call 855 939 1137.
I'm
That's
sorry.
not bad.
That,
That's not
that
bad.
sounds like a sex offender.
It's a little
yeah.
breathy at first, but
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, you should open a line.
I tell you what. If we, the only thing that could be
I
sexier
tried
than
to
that.
make it more breathy.
The only
Yeah.
thing that could be sexier than that is if the woman on the show before us.
Ah.
got the phone number.
So
99
Yeah, that's true.
you should
Oh my
do.
God.
True.
You should
you
use
guys
this.
should put a call out for a woman to call to do the phone number.
You should-
and to see how sexy they can do it. You know,
Well, Debbie
it's been
does it
all
pretty
of us
sexy.
Men.
I do a sexy voice.
Do it sexy. Go ahead.
Who do I look at when I do this?
Oh, look at
Don't-
me, please.
No. I'm hiding.
Omri's hiding behind his microphone. That's very funny.
Yeah, but don't breathe so much unless you're doing commercial for inhalers or something. Yeah, it's not necessary.
All right, so if anybody else wants to call in, what's the phone number, Omri?
That's 855-939-1137. You got that, Mike?
All
It's
right.
855-939-1137.
So, Mike, we have an event coming up in Tampa that you want to go to. All right, go to moneygamelive.com.
In Tampa.
In Tampa.
Oh wait, let me write this. Okay,
Right.
say what again?
So it's called Money Game Live, moneygamelive.com. Moneygamelive.com. You go to Tampa, and actually everybody else is welcome to come, of course. But it's in Tampa. It's a 3-day event. If you go VIP, it's a 3-day event.
Okay.
If you go general admission, it's a 2-day event. But if you go VIP, you're actually going to get a tour of our mobile home park.
Yes.
So we're going to give you a tour of the mobile home park, tell you the story of how we bought it, and we're going to do some
I
masterminding as
didn't
well.
realize that.
The sign
you
is
got
up.
A whole mobile.
Sorry.
A mobile. Yeah. Well, that's what I live in right now.
Where?
The mobile home park.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
In Aiken, which is right across the river, Savannah River, from Augusta.
Okay.
Very cool.
The green jacket and golfing and stuff like that. So if you guys golf, please let me know. If you're coming down to Augusta, I am like 5 minutes away. I'm
Okay.
just right across the
pretty good.
river, just like Cherry Hill is to Philadelphia.
Oh, all right.
So
very
as
good.
you are so close, are we going to see you on Tampa on March 1st?
Yeah, I'm going to look.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up.
Please- please.
Tampa
Money
is
Game Live.
on the west side. So
Yeah.
I have to go down 95, and then I have to take 4. So 4 is going to be about an hour and a half, and then, it's a drive,
Listen,
but I can do it.
you could figure out your GPS on your own time. We only got about 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
So we look forward to see you, man. All right, I want to go because
Okay.
somebody's calling about allodial titles. Actually,
What
All
is
right.
it?
Well, we're gonna find out hopefully. All right, what's up, Gene? You know about allodial titles?
Yeah, hey Larry, I do listen to you occasionally when I'm in my car. Very enjoyable show.
What?
very
Just
interesting.
occasionally? You can't listen to us all the time?
Just occasionally.
Man.
Well, when my wife sends me out on errands, I always put it on the radio, and you happen to be on.
Well, you need to have an errand
Anyway,
every Saturday then.
Yeah, pretty much every weekend, yeah. So allodial title takes you a little bit down the conspiracy path, but there's a guy by the name of Ron Gibson who has an excellent book out on allodial title, which I read a few years ago. So allodial title, in theory, is originally when the government was giving out land in the old days, everyone had an allodial title, meaning you absolutely owned your land. You could do whatever you want with it. It was your land.
Okay.
But over the years, they've watered down these deeds that you get when you supposedly buy your property. And for example, when currently I have a property in Bucks County, and my deed says I'm tenants in common, something like
No,
that.
you're tenants in
on
common with
deed.
the other person who owns it. Who else is on the
Right,
title? Your wife?
Which is my wife, correct?
Yeah, but
But
okay.
a tenant basically is just a renter. So in other words, what they're saying in this theory of allodial title is the current titles, you don't really own your land, which is pretty obvious due to the fact that you can't do what you want with your property. If you want to build a shed, you can't build, you got to get permission. If you want to, build a pool, it has to be so many yards away from the other person's property.
Right.
So the titles we have currently we've been screwed, and we're not really the owner. And there is a way to get your property in allodial title, and in theory, I don't know anyone who's done it. You won't have to pay any taxes, any real estate taxes, once you get an allodial title.
Right.
But then you won't
So
get, of
something
course,
very
any services, no? Am I correct? Because you are
Well, that's
basically
one of the
not part of the township?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's correct. That is supposedly one of the risks of it, which is the reason I didn't do it, because you call the fire department, they might say, we're not coming. And electricity, PICO maybe can cut off your electricity.
Right, but
there are risks.
The only thing I want to clear up, though, I got what you're saying, and I totally get it. Now I understand it. I have the definition of allodial title. You actually described it very well, so I understand it. But when you said tenants in common, now that's a little bit. I mean, I realize the word tenant may be the confusing word here, but you need to understand there's lots of different ways to own title. Now, the interesting part is the tenants in common. Is that with your wife? So your wife's the other person on the title?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. I'm not sure if that's what my deed actually says, but I've heard that people have that on their...
Were you married when you bought your house?
I was, yes.
Okay, so most likely, it's not tenants in common. It's wow, my brain just went blank.
It's the tenancy, isn't it?
Wow, literally my brain went blank.
Our screen.
You know why? Because I got distracted by a screen that just went out of my thing. It's tenants in the entireties, right? Tenants in the entireties. And what tenants in the entireties means is that you and your wife own it 100% each, right? Where tenants in common means that you own half of it, and she owns half of it. That's so just understand it's a little bit different. Just keep that in mind.
I'm not sure what mine says, but in general, people who are into this conspiracy theory, which I happen to be into, will say, "Why is the word tenant even on? You're not a tenant. You're the owner."
But don't worry about that. That's it's just a legal definition. So I wouldn't get.
But like I said,
I wouldn't get excited about that word.
You should get Ron Gibson's book if you have the time. You should read it. It's very readable.
I'd rather you read my book.
Actually, Larry, I'm a stock option trader by career.
So my book isn't about stock options. My book is about money.
Okay, I understand.
So go read it. It's actually called Money Hacks. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. We actually just lost one of our screens, but I appreciate you calling. Oh wait, the screen just came back. Luckily, okay, good. I know I was going to say that, Glenn. We lost our screen, which had our clock on it. But now we got my clock back, so I actually know that I have a few more minutes here.
What was that?
I have no idea. The screen just went blank, and I have no idea why it went blank. So we're having all kinds of problems here. This always happens. Yeah, the technical jargon for all problems is gremlins.
You sound like Tommy now. That's all he says. Is
or the show before us.
Yeah, it might be the show.
It could be that they affected us.
It might be the monitors are probably going to sleep.
Stop. terrible.
All right, so you guys are watching on YouTube and Facebook. Just let me know if you guys are still watching, because I just want to make sure that we still have signal going out, because I'm not sure, because if not, I'll have to start it again with the next show. So please let me know if we're starting. If we didn't, if not, I'll start the next show again. No big deal. But I got a feeling